All right. Thank everybody for tuning in. First and foremost, this team must figure out a way to be explosive tomorrow. And I was looking at everything, looking at film, and I just thought to myself, I said, you know what? Without Ezekiel Elliott, there's nobody else on this team that is explosive. They can get out to turn 3 yards to 20 or 3 yards into 10 yards or what have you and go to 0 to 100 real quick. There's nobody out there. I looked through every film I can find. We do know that Dez Bryant used to be able to do that. Even if I'm thinking that even if Tony Romo was throwing him the ball, I don't think that he have that next gear speed. And those are things that I always hold like a weird sensation in me, in the sense that you just don't know that what's going to be happening next. As far as this team, the methodical way of going down the field and making plays happen. So I'm just going to hold off on making any type of extra thoughts out there as far as this team making it all the way. Not saying I'm giving up, but there's still a glimpse of hope, right? Reason why this is a must-win game for me is because we need to win out. If not, then if you don't win 10, you're not in. Maybe they can lose one other game. But if you're talking about losing 3 games in a row, you're talking about momentum. It's sucked out of the building. And then you may have a slight chance of people giving up. Not saying that they will give up on Jason Garrett, but at this point, even me, I've been an advocate of Jason Garrett, maybe like a Jason Garrett apologist at some point. But this year, I'm having a different view of him because I'm looking at it just like this. You guys remember last series or last story, I was talking about the GPS theory, right? A coach is designed to make things happen. And if he don't make things happen, whether it be through motivation, whether it be through fear determinations and things like that, if you don't have no fear on your team, if you're not scared of the coach, if you don't have the ability to some people you got to yell at. Some people the only way they can understand if you yelling at them. I'm not saying we need a yelling coach, because Tony Dungy's of the world never was a yelling coach. But he was a philosopher. He thought, real deep thinker, held people to their standards, to his standards, and was able to get the pace and set things to the right degree, because he was like this weird defensive type of guy who can just put things in the right perspective. And then he knows the offense too as well. So he had like this, not an abstract view of things, but had a good keen of knowledge type of deal. Now, as far as the secondary, I do know that it takes about 1 to 2 years. Everybody and their mama, uncle, cousin was saying that we need to help with the secondary. Whether or not it was Brandon Carrs of the worlds and Claiborne's, that just didn't make it happen for us. Even at the Barry Church at times, you know. Now, I don't know what they're doing collectively on their teams now, but I don't think that the Jets are balling out with Claiborne. And I don't think that the Ravens saying that, yeah, Brandon Carr is the world beater out there. I don't think that, you know, I know they got, 2 or 3 interceptions, which is cool. You know, we need that in life, right? So I'm looking at everything from here, from this perspective alone, right? By us not having an explosive player, we don't have no fear factor on the offense. I mean, T. Will, you got to step it up. Number 19, Bryce Butler got to step it up. Cole Beasley, although he rarely catches balls on the outside. That sounds funny, right? Catching balls on the outside. He rarely catches balls on the outside. You know, he don't run those routes. They bracket covering them, and they know which play he can do. Maybe put a sprinkle in there. Maybe run him on a wheel route. Maybe run him out to the outside. Set him up on the outside. And if Dak can have time to throw the ball to him, maybe there could be a possibility. But outside of that, Jason Witten, my brother from another mother. I love you, man. But it's getting long in the tooth. And at this point, if we don't have that understudy under him right now and ready, I'm leaning toward Rico Gathers. We saw what happened in preseason. Although people would say that's preseason, you still got a 6'8" guy who's the target, who can be Dak Prescott friendly. I mean, your coaching staff got to figure out something with that. And I don't agree with the people saying that halftime adjustment is not important. Back off of that. I do know that halftime adjustment is important. I don't care if it is 12 minutes or 10 minutes or it's 8 minutes. That's the time when you get into the opposition, when your players face, and you tell them, hey, you need to improve on this. You need to pick this up. Even if they're doing great, you still tell them that they need to pick this stuff up. Now I go back to being a yelling coach, because that's who I would do. I yell motivation into them, and I tell them, hey, if you're dropping the ball, this is what you need to do to pick it up. Because at the end of the day, if you clapping and telling people they doing a good job, I'm not saying that that's what Coach Garrett is doing, but I can possibly think that it is what he's doing, saying, okay, you guys are doing a good job, and that's how you come out flat. Yes, we are missing key elements, but like I said before, the Minnesota Vikings coach, he's missing key elements, and he's still winning. Years before, I think the Texans missing out on their, and I know it's different division, they missed out on their, not this year, but the year before, they missed out on their starting quarterback, and they still made it to the playoff. So there's still ways to motivate and elevate and push your team to the next level. But if you don't do those quick things right there, if you don't be able to motivate and push from within, then you get those type of results. So that's why I say talk is cheap, results is everything. Everybody got a reason, right? Everybody got a reason to what they do and the reason why you're even watching this channel. But it's the results that matter. That's what counts for everything. If you don't have the results, then I'm gonna keep it PG-13. I don't give a dog what your reason is. It's all about the results. And it goes back to coaching philosophy, coaching staff, finding out the identity of your team. If you don't know the identity of your team, you'll completely lose yourself. And that's what happened with the Atlanta Falcons last year in the Super Bowl. They didn't know the identity of their team, which was they was running the ball with the two running backs that they had, and they had a wide receiver that's world-class, Julio Jones, that they didn't need to go to at points and times because you're getting the yards from the ground. But they didn't stick to their identity. And what happened? I tell you one thing, regardless of who the coaches are for the New England Patriots, and you got Belichick back there, he's going to go back to his identity. And even in the situation in the pinch of what happened last week with the Philadelphia Eagles, after halftime, they said, you know what? Let's do what can win for us. Our coaching is pretty good. But what we want to do is we want to put Carson Wentz in the best possibilities. And right now, passing the ball is not his cup of tea because he almost passed a pick six before the halftime. Let's just run the ball. Let's utilize what we paid this guy for. And you saw what happened with the results. And everybody wanted to say, well, we had our secondary and our third string. That's our reason. It's not their results. Their results is the reason why we lost. Everything goes back to the results, not the reasons, the results. That's been my time, guys. I really thank you guys for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out.